SS3, JSS3, and I think primary 6 will resume on the 2nd of August. Now, the question is, the private school pupils have somehow learned they've been doing virtual classes, but in Nigeria, the private school constitutes less than 50% of the entire population of the pupils in that age. That's primary and secondary school, which means that pupils in secondary school, in public secondary and primary school, have virtually not learned anything in the last 3 months. This also tells us that the investment in education has been very poor, because that's the reason why many of those schools don't even have the facility to be able to teach virtually. Do we think that the current structure of education is sustainable? Should government continue to fund all levels of education, or just focus on the what we call the compulsory education? I think we
It's as if we lost Buki.
Oh, sorry.
No,
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we heard you actually. Thank you. Oh. Okay. Was that question meant for someone, or is it just
anybody can speak
question?
on it. Anybody can speak on it, please.
Okay.
Okay,
Guys,
I think Larry's hand is up.
All right.
Yeah. And Yinka.
Good evening, guys.
All right.
Well, in a normal democratic settings, I think the primary, secondary education can still be funded by the government. I think that is normal, because in other areas in the world, I don't think students need to pay as much as we are paying around here. It's just a pity that most of the leaders we have here, they're just propagandists. They just come here and tell us stories about how they want to do this and that. But normally, according to your question, government should still fund education. That is normal. It's a basic thing for the children to acquire or to get from the government. So
let me frame my question again. What I'm saying is that should government only concentrate more on the basic educations and make it as strong as it can be, rather than try to split the available resources on education on primary, secondary, university, polytechnic? Should we make only secondary and primary the ultimate priority of the government, while anybody who wants to do post-secondary education fund itself?
Are you focusing on a particular country?
In Nigeria.
Okay.
Just before we go on, guys, just so that Buki don't get us into his passion. I think he's just passionate about basic education and all that. So I know we discussed this for so long last week, right? And I think Buki is just trying to get more people on his side. So when you go into that argument, have that at the back of your mind, that this is Buki's passion, sort of. So go on, argue. I'm going to time this argument, by the way, Buki, because I know we spent 2 hours on this last week. So I'm going to time it today. I'm going to give you maximum of 3 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Go on, Larry. I don't think you finished your thing before Buki had to.
Okay, actually, I think government should fund the education probably from primary to secondary. But when it gets to tertiary education, the university, they get money. They get money from the students. I think all schools should be accountable for every penny they are getting from the students. It's not all these fees will be getting money, the admin, the bursar. Some bursars are even richer. Some registrars in the schools are even richer than the VC. If government is going to fund university education, I think all the high GR these people are getting should actually go back to government purse. That's my submission.
Okay, does anyone has a contrary opinion or just want to reinforce Lere's opinion on the funding of education? And Kolawole Adeloye, I will come to you on what do you think is the best way, in your opinion? How do you think we can have a sustainable, well-funded education in Nigeria, irrespective of what government does? I mean, why we push government to do what they can, but how do you think education can be sustainably funded to give us a very good and quality education at the basic level in Nigeria? I'm coming to you. But before that, does any other one has any opinion contrary to Lere?
I have, but Yinka has a hand up for a while now. I think Yinka has something to say.
Oh, Yinka, please.
Let's be mindful of time, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, yeah.
Why I already Jimmy is gone. The question I already put it in the chat. So we can talk later. I just want to know about health sector. How has any policy changed regarding infection control in Nigeria? So I don't want to bring us back since we're talking about education sector right now.
Thank
Oh,
you.
okay.
Don't worry about it.
Right. Just a quick one I wanted to say, and like I said earlier, we discussed this for so much for over 2 hours last week.
No. It's timed. We spent. It's timed. Once we get to the time, we move on from it.
All right.
Please,
Just
please,
my own opinion on this is this. World over, basic education is up to secondary school. If in Nigeria, if we're still asking the government to fund education up to university level, we're just going to have half-baked illiterates, because basically what would happen is that we're not getting 100% in primary education, we're not getting 100% secondary, we're not getting nothing in university. So basically what would eventually happen is that we're churning out half-baked illiterates. I would suggest, and that is if anyone is listening to us, that we fund education up to secondary school. In saner climes, I know Buki is going to pick on that. When you fund education to secondary school level, all kids, all children are in school when they should be in school. In Nigeria, when some kids are in school, you drive around the road, you still see kids hawking on the road. So that is telling you our basic education is not working. So I don't want to drag us too long on this, but that's what I think.
I have something to say on that too. So I think that from what I learned last week, specifically from Buki, yes, I understand that government may not have the wherewithal to just sponsor, to provide education, tertiary education as a social service forever, like we have. It's a business. But the only thing I would say is, if it's going to be a business the way it is in the US, tertiary education, that the government must provide some sort of loans and funding for people who want to pursue tertiary education, not just because of their own dreams, but because if we don't do that and we lock out a whole section of our people from tertiary education, we will be hurting ourselves, because there's a whole lot of intelligent people who will be completely locked out of the system. If business was an education, if tertiary business was an education in 1996 when we left high school, 1995 and 1996 when we left high school, if the cost of education at Covenant and Babcock and all, if that was how all universities were then, personally, me, I wouldn't have gone to school, except I had access to a loan. When I came to the US, I had to borrow a loan to go to do a master's program. So what I would say is, if we really want to do, okay, fine, we want that world-class education in Nigeria as well. Government cannot fund it. At least government should provide a certain pool of money so that those who have the intelligence and the desire to go to tertiary education can go and help our country get better, by becoming entrepreneurs and workers as well. Thank you.
Okay, I think your time is over on this topic, but I think Yinka wants to say something. So,
Yinka, Okay, please make it quick. So we'll move to the next.
It's going to be just a minute. I want to say that it's very important to consider the fact that it's not everybody that needs to go to universities. That's one thing I always say, and it's very true. We have other areas of vocational training. What I think need to be very strong is primary education as well as secondary education for all, affordable or free. All of us need that, including that will actually how we leverage everything among every family members. But on getting to your higher institution, here we have a lot of scholarships. African American scholarships, minority scholarship, you know all these, you name it. And loans also that are actually subsidized by the government, not just from bank, because bank has more interest rates. So if we want to replicate something like that in Nigeria, that would really be useful.
Yes.
But a strong basic training, you can never depart from that because that's what we up on. When we lack that basic training, when you find a secondary student that cannot even construct basic, it's a big deal. My daughter said something here because she was listening to us. She said, Mom, that you speak a very good English. I'm like, what do you think? Because what they were talking, yes. But if you listen to some children of nowadays and they construct English for you, you will grab your head like, what class are you? Who is your teacher? And when you hear some teacher speak some Igbo, I'm telling you, you will be like, okay, this is too much. You know?
All right, thank you, Yinka. Before
that is strong enough, then tertiary institution is going to be a bliss. We can do vocational training. People can go to polytechnics and still make it big. Really. So sorry,
you just hurt me there. Polytechnic is tertiary institution, Yinka. I am a Polytechnic graduate. It's the same.
Okay.
Let's not fight over this.
I think we can take this.
Can we move on, please? This is becoming round.
We can move. Let's move on and take this after. I think we take Kunle last before we move to the next one. Kunle has had his hand off for a while. Kunle.
Guys, well done. I think I've listened to different perspectives. I'm just trying to point our attention to the fact that we also need to, own some of these conversations and some of our perspectives. I think for us as an association, especially when we have members who are part of communities being hit by the pandemic, I think it's more important for us to also think of what then do we do, having found ourselves in this situation, what then do we do to survive post-COVID? I just want to bring our attention to that because
so we are going there. We are going there. That is a progression. We get there, and that's where we are now.
Okay. I have a view on education. I have a view on education.
Okay. I'll make it brief. 30 seconds.
In my opinion, I think it's important for us, especially as Nigerians or as Nigerian government, to also move with time. I can understand that from what you once said, many of us wouldn't have been opportune to go to good schools or go to school at all if education is not being subsidized by government, especially at the time we left high school. But having said that, it's also important that if we look at the population of Nigeria 25 years ago, given the birth rate and what we have today, I think a lot of things have actually changed. And also the fact that the government we have is not really as futuristic as some other governments in some advanced or senior climes. I think it's also important to put into perspective that government can no longer schedule the responsibility of providing education the way they are trying to pretend that they are capable of doing it at this time. I think government should focus on providing basic education, and whoever is interested going forward, given that foundation is solid, if government gives support up until secondary or technical level, for those people who don't want to go to university, they want to go to technical colleges so they can become professional.
Yeah, thank you, Kunle.
I think it makes a lot of sense that will begin to pump money into university that is not sustainable and they don't even have enough to fund these schools. That's my take.
All right, thank you, Kunle. Now, another one of also the things that is going to come out staring boldly at us now and over the next couple of months is the industries are shut down. Some industries don't have the residents to cope. They've shut down. When when companies shut down, it means that the workers are gone. We've had industries that are not shutting down, cutting costs. Cutting costs, unfortunately, labor is often the first casualty when it comes to cost cutting. This has happened in aviation, it has happened in finance, it has happened in healthcare, despite the fact that healthcare should be the one at advantage. Now, the reality of this is that people are going to lose jobs. What do we think are the steps that should be taken by individuals to caution the likely effect of job losses? Right? I would like Goke Adefalu to tell us his opinion on this, if he's with us. Goke, are you with us?
He is on, but possibly he's not.
Yeah, probably not paying attention right now.
Wait,
Okay, Aki Sende. Is Aki Sende with us?
Aki is here. Sende is here. Sende?
Yes, I'm here, but I will crave the indulgence to be excused for now because I'm working. At the same time, I'm just listening to the
Okay, no problem. That's fair.
Thank
right?
you.
What about Adekunle? Do you want to say something about it? What do we do to caution the effect of job losses during this period? It's inevitable. It's going to happen. The only thing we don't know is who it will affect. But at least the best way to prepare for it is to assume that it's going to affect us. So how do we prepare for it? Do you want to share any thoughts with us, Adekunle?
I guess you just leave it to anyone that wants to talk. I don't
Okay,
think Adekunle
does anyone want to share anything with
Well,
us?
if we do that, it will end up rolling between 3 or 4 people. Though. That's what eventually happens.
Let's. So, what other names have you got on your
We are
list?
trying to promote.
All right, Bumi, do you want to share anything with us?
Yes, you want to. Bumi, talk.
Àdúrà la máa gbà o.
I'm here.
I expect that from you as a cardinal.
Cardinal,
Oh my God!
Because I'm not in government at the moment. I'm just following the government policy as well. So what I'm doing now at home is I'm praying to God, not, for example, like me, I don't want to lose my job. So àdúrà ni mò ń gbà o.
Buki, can I quickly say something? Bumi,
Yes.
while you're here, can I ask you something? I know this is your first time dialing into these master classes, and I'm really, really happy you chose to come in today because we're trying to kind of move on. So what are your views on the classes we've had so far? Why have you not joined? What are the things you think we should do to get more people involved?
To be honest with you, I lost my uncle recently. So
sorry about that. Condolences.
Yeah, so that's one of the reasons why I didn't have so much time. Or it took most of my what's it called? I'm still bereaved at the moment. So even today, it was the man was laid to rest today. So after the funeral, that's why I was able to join the meeting. But so far, to be honest with you, because I always see the post every time on the WhatsApp, most of the everything that they have been discussing so far is, to me, is a reasonable agenda, reasonable good thing to know and to follow up. But it's just quite unfortunate I didn't be able to follow up. So that is one of the my reason that I've not been able to join. But now I will see what I can do to follow up.
All right. Thank you, Bumi.
Thank you so
we
much,
appreciate
Bumi.
it. So, Larry, your hand is up.
Yes. On your question, I spoke about stress management yesterday. Probably because someone who has been in a job for about 10, 15 years, who has been getting regular income. Like myself, I've been home since March 19, no income. Thank God for savings. So that was why I talked about stress management, just as in how can someone reduce stress? Because when, as a man, you are home, there's no money, you've been enjoying before now, you do all sort of things. You know, at times, all these things affect your health. I actually spoke to Folajimi just now that that question you asked is meant for Folajimi. I mean, the medical experts. Why you probably yourself can take care of the economic experts. Because this kind of thing can really affect a particular person who has regular income before. And probably in 6 months is not getting anything. So I think if the medical expert can come in, tell us how we can help someone like that. Actually, if you lose your job, you have to think of other ways. Anybody who loses job, you have to think of other ways. And probably at that very crucial time, I think such a person needs to talk to his close pals. Because when there are so many people around him that can encourage him, make him happy, at that point in time, probably that person might not go into depression. But seriously speaking, if someone leaves for about 6 months with no income and he doesn't have savings, you have to call people before you can eat, before you can feed your family, before you can do this, before you can do that. I don't see when that person will not go into depression. That's what I think anyway. But I think if Jimmy has solution to how a particular individual can survive that kind of thing or that particular situation, I think he can give us more clear on that. But in my own name, my opinion, if you lose your job, if you have not been working with your certificate, if you have a normal certificate, look for another job. If you don't want to look for another job, look for businesses you can do. That's why I'm very happy about what Ogidi did by bringing in someone that will talk about SME. Because the day you came, you were talking about someone that will buy $1 million. If I'm going to buy $1 million, it means I have about 360 million naira. So probably anybody can just start little by little if you have small money, even if it is just 500,000 naira. If you have good business ideas, even if you don't have, if you know people that have good business ideas, that you can just call on them, what exactly you can do with that kind of money that can make you get back on your feet again.
Yeah, thanks, Larry. Goke, please, you have the floor.
Good afternoon. Is it evening or afternoon? Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm sorry, I had to quickly step aside.
Unmute yourself. You have the floor.
I've unmuted myself, sir.
We can hear you now.
Can you hear me? All right.
Very well.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry, I had to quickly step aside to go and attend to some family issues. I believe the question is, what should we do during this pandemic and vis-a-vis economic lockdown and unnecessary standstill in the economy as it relates to our jobs and our incomes? I believe that's what the question is all about.
Please,
I believe number one thing that every individual should do is we should carry out a form of portfolio review, our own individual portfolio review. What do I have to carry on with in this unprepared for situation, unexpected situation? We should carry out a form of portfolio reviews. What are my assets? What level of liquidity do I have? What level of physical assets, other assets you I have, can it drive my living going forward? I think that should be one of the basic thing that everybody should take into consideration. Skill set is also part of one's asset. So, pardon me if I didn't mention that. Skill set, your skill set. Do I have the necessary skill as I am to move on and to survive this? For example, if your day-to-day job is on standstill, and you have another skill, maybe you have a small shop or a small shop in front of your house. I'm talking to the people in Nigeria now. You can start a small retail shop and be selling small things. And with that, is a skill. For example, in my own family, in my family now, I believe my wife has that skill more than me. So I'm already looking away that, madam, some of those your skills, it seems you need to bring it on board, though, and all those. Then your liquidity. How much savings do you have? What amount of interest is that savings generating? What avenue, what other investment avenue can you plow those savings to? It's not just money sitting down in your current account doing nothing. You need to employ it and you let it be bringing something in for you. Then also, I spoke about skills. I also believe also that this is not the time to carry out capital projects. I believe this is the time to look inward and look at what the economy is saying. You can't say you have millions of naira now and use it to go and acquire property, hoping that you will sell it. That is going to tie your money down for a long time. And also, I also believe also that, yes, just like Larry said, we need to strengthen our mind at this point in time. If you have never been very strong before, to say it, I'm talking to myself too. I believe I'm not that a very strong-minded person. I believe in God. I believe in Christ, that they are as my support. But I believe in terms of my mind, I'm not that strong. I believe also that at this point in time, everybody needs to strengthen up. That anything that comes your way is not the end of life, and you need to stay positive. That's also in my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Goke.
Thank you, Goke.
Buki, before you go on, I would like to just engage Goke briefly, just so that we kind of stick to the objective of this meeting. This isn't just about, ideas on all that post-COVID. We also trying to get your takeaway from the master classes we've had so far. Do you have any ideas, or, what are the things you've learned on these master classes? How has it impacted you? And what do you think we can do to move the association forward?
Yeah, no, we will get to suggestions later, and that's why. So what I've tried to.
Okay, can I speak?
Let me just explain. Let me just quickly chip this in so that it can. What I've tried to do is to put what we've discussed in the last 10 weeks into 4 buckets, because it basically falls into those buckets. It falls into areas of investment and finance, personal finance, into healthcare, right? Either the healthcare covers also the mental health. It covers then education for our kids and everything, as well as personal hygiene. So what I've tried to do is to try to touch those places. And if you look at the questions, it also shows that some of those trainings we've had over the last 10 weeks have been internalized, because I can also relate those answers. I mean, I can see those answers in the training. Now, moving forward, does anyone have anything to say on this one before I move to the next one?
Can I just say something briefly?
Oh, please go on,
kind of piggybacking. As much as I don't want to kind of say too much, here are 2 things I would say about challenges post-COVID. This is kind of this is uncharted territory So this isn't something you've planned for, but there's a rule of thumb. If you're employed, that you kind of have savings to stay afloat for at least 6 months if you're like in a paid employment. So I know not everybody can do that, but like Goke said, if you find yourself, lost jobs, a lot of us will do. There's nothing we can do about it. And that's why we always say it's always good to have a second stream of income. And also, I'm not saying it's easy to have a second stream of income, but something we can all work on now that we've seen, what is this Yoruba saying? Igba olobi orere. Anything can happen. So these are things that we should, as individuals, start thinking about. If I lose my job, what am I going to do? What are the skills that I have that are useful and can keep me afloat in times of trouble? Luckily, we're bringing in an expert next week, hopefully, or I think Kunle will communicate the dates to us, is an expert in SMEs. So basically, that person will be talking to us about, setting up businesses. And I'm hoping, that session would be helpful to us, actually. So hopefully we all can come, next time, actually come in all Saturdays, actually, to learn more about how to be self-employed, basically, and be ready for post-COVID challenges.
Thank you, Ife. So now I think we have about 10 minutes more to go. And so Bumi brought out something, and I think many of us took it as a joke, but it's not a joke. We are in an unusual period. Some people call it what has happened, a black swan event, but I think to me it's even more than a black swan event. Now, to survive this unusual period, you need to have some form of religious mind. Whatever you believe in, you need to take it, because it does not just test you, it tests your mental toughness, right? So we need our financial safety to be intact, just like people have said. You need to have a lot of savings, and not a lot of savings. You need to have some savings to be able to weather this in the event of job losses. Also, we also need to be alive. So which means that we need to be alive. We need to be healthy, spiritual healthiness. I mean, we need to be spiritually healthy. We need to be financially okay, at least to an extent that can sustain us. We also need our body to be in the best of shape, right? Can anyone, based on what Moradio has taught us, can anyone just in a summary, just help us summarize as an advice what we need to do, that we put into one bucket, a summary of what we need to do to survive this period. People have mentioned a lot of it, but what I've also needed is that, because in the last 3 or 4 weeks, I've heard about the death of 2 people, and both of them are heart attack. And one of the, I'm not a doctor, but one of the things that can cause heart attack is that these people don't exercise and allow some things to happen to them. So what are the regimens that can be recommended that we should follow during this period, which will include all those things? Personally, I'm going to write this down and try to follow them. It's difficult, but I'm going to write this down. Can we have Dr. Tolu to help us with this, if he's listening?
Hello, Buki.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I had something to mind to say before what you said earlier. I think one of the things that one can use to survive this period is actually for us to learn new skills. Now, the mere fact that learning new skills right now is so easy, right from YouTube, using Udemy, using so many other platforms, whatever you have an interest in, you can learn that skill to the point in which you can actually sell these skills to other people. You understand? A lot of people are self-taught in so many things right now. So if you talk about earning or being able to make money from other sources of living apart from your income, you cannot talk about it in the absence of people learning new skills. Apart from capital, you being a finance person knows that technical know-how is a big deal whenever you want to carry out a business. So I think we should encourage people to begin to learn new skills. Whatever you have an interest in, you can learn it to the point you can make it a hobby. From an hobby can become a form of living. You see, part of the problem I believe we had, and which I think we have, is that we all grew up with, most of us grew up with parents that are salary earners who throughout their entire life did one job, followed one way, and till they retired, they were on that one path. This will not work for us, and this will not even work for our children. So we need to learn how to adapt at this point in time and make use of technology. Technology affords that opportunity. I think if we had parents
we need to cut you short. I mean, I've taken on board what you said. We need to learn new skills.
Please, can I say something? 1 minute.
Sorry,
no, that is one of two. There's still one more thing I need to talk about.
So you need to wrap it up in the next 1 minute, please.
You need to give us more time. These are very cogent issues. I don't think anybody.
Well, we're also working time so that we don't lose our
All right, guys, Bookie, I know you spent your time loud, and now you are trying to tell people not to talk again.
But
guys, if you're all okay with it, I'll give Bookie 5 more minutes. And that way everybody can talk. While I give you 5 minutes, Bookie, it's not for you to use all the time. So let everybody that wants to talk now use 1 minute. Okay.
Moradeyo, number 1.
Yeah, Moradeyo, go on, please. Thank you.
Yes.
No. Let Fola finish.
Okay.
Thank you. So as I was saying, we need to, if you want to learn skills, if you have a line, we could even have a committee that will help people, that will steer people in the right direction. If you want to venture into something or learn a new skill, in less than 12 months, you can become very proficient at it if you have a passion for that thing. That is one. Now, concerning the issue of health that we mentioned earlier, you understand? You see, it's really very funny, the kind of health challenge we face in this day and time. And I will tell you something. You see, when this COVID-19 started, I gave you all the opinion that nothing will happen. And this is the issue. There was a documentary I came across. It was called the Longevity Project. The guy, I can't remember his name, is an American. When he wanted to start that documentary, he only wanted to do 1 hour. He ended up doing 11 hours. It was a 9-part documentary series. And me being a doctor, the kind of things I heard, they said, I was just opening my mouth, I couldn't close it. Now, the center of that documentary was focused on the US healthcare system and the US health population. And what he said was that at this point in time, when US has so much advancement in health and so much drug and so much medical personality and so much health available, they are facing an all-time high of non-communicable diseases in the form of diabetes, hypertension, autoimmune diseases, and cancers. And they were looking at why are these problems so much prevalent in this day and in this time. And you see, in Africa, we need to learn from these things because we've borrowed a Western lifestyle and we will inherit Western problems eventually. Mm-hmm. The first thing I noticed from that thing, which they made very clear, was the fact that there was a sterile situation in the US. And that is why I felt that COVID won't have much impact here, which was later, proven by the study that came out showing that countries with universal BCG vaccine had less impact. Over here, you have a disease environment. Over there, you have a too clean environment. So somehow the fact that you've not been challenged in a long while can weaken your immune system. And that is even common to even finance and every other issue. So we need to look for, but we are lucky in that regard. But what I'm trying to bring out here right now, that we need to avoid issues that come from lifestyle problems, basically. You need to look at it because death doesn't come up in a day. Death comes up in a lifestyle. And especially right now, we need to look at our mental health critically. If somebody wants to exercise, if you don't get yourself to do it because your mind is not set to it, and if your mind is in an excellent state, believe you me, your body will do wonders. Sure. So we need to really focus on mental health on a big deal.
Jimmy,
All
I
right,
still
thank
have
you.
Moradeyo. And who
Kunle,
else was raising up their hand? By the way, Buki, they said it's because you want to go and watch us now.
not necessary. I can watch us now without any issue. And the
What I
training, I
want to
mean,
say
I
is
They
don't
will
have
very
issue.
still beat you. Anyway, we've agreed to give you 5 more minutes, Buki. I think
Kunle,
Moradeyo is raising,
yes,
has been raising up her hand.
yes.
Debo
What I
is
want,
here.
thank
I've
you.
not heard Bimpe, please give me 1 minute. I've not heard Debo speak. As much as we want everybody to speak, should I call on everybody before we get to the last segment where we kind of
sorry, I
call
cannot
everybody to
disrespect.
talk?
I cannot disrespect my president. Kunle's hand has been on.
Okay, Buki, can you
Yes.
round up your segment? And then I can call up on everyone, all the participants. And when
Just
I
give
call
me.
on, okay, go on. Yes.
Before you round up everybody, Radeyo's comment, is it related to what has been said, or is it an independent comment?
Well,
Are you asking Radeyo?
yes.
Radeyo, please go
Well,
on.
I'm asking Radeyo.
Okay.
It's kind of related, really. When
All right, Radeyo,
when
please
Jimmy
go on.
said, yes, when Jimmy said we should learn new skill and everything, trust me, this is from experience. It's sometimes challenging, you know, as Roma Farubara call new skill. So what I wanted to say was to leverage on our passion. If you have passion for something, if you really enjoy it, trust me, learning anything in that regard will be like bread and butter. It will become very easy. So when we leverage on our passion, learning new skill will be a lot easier. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Radeyo. Short and sweet.
Radeyo, our kì í ṣe arúgbó òjò.
Abinu, daddy.
Kunle, please
All
go
right,
on.
Buki.
Okay, so I just want to make, sorry guys, I just want to make 2 points. I think essentially I can relate to the perspective Larry brought on board. For me, I want to advise all men to, as much as possible, take 2 things very seriously. The first thing is exercise. And exercise doesn't have to exercise. Exercise doesn't have to be very rigorous. If possible, let's talk to somebody in the medical space to give us guidance. But we need to take exercising very seriously, and we should monitor our progress. And this can be easily done by using our phone. You know, there are some of these apps that can help us guide and monitor how we're performing. But we should take exercising very seriously. It could be something as simple as brisk walking or jogging, and the distance doesn't have to be a lot. You can be going back and forth in front of your house until you cover a certain degree of. That's number 1. Number 2 is also to realize that I think I'll say this in Yoruba. A lot of the issues men tend to have is we tend to assume a lot of responsibility. Yeah, the responsibilities are there. School fees, house rent, all those things have to be done. But then and admit that it's only God that can help us. That will reduce the level of anxiety that we onboard our mind. And then let's find time to rest. It's not easy. It's always almost impossible. But let's find time to do hours of sleep, like proper sleep every day. And I think at our age, this is very important. I am not a medical expert, but I think having to do this is key. And the third thing is let us reduce our salt intake and eat lots of veggies. I think this will help to stabilize first and foremost our body metabolism, and then we can think right and we can act right. That's number 1. Number 2 is I want us, as much as possible in the face of the current realities of our time, do self-audit. Let us appraise our skill set. How relevant is my skill set, or how relevant is my daily endeavor in the current reality post-COVID? Some of the jobs that we are doing, some of the activities, economic activities that we're engaged in, may not be as promising as they used to be pre-COVID. If we do a reappraisal of some of these things, and then where possible, try to onboard some very little thing that we believe can give us traction, you know, economically, it might be very important and it might serve us. I'm saying this because a lot of the time, especially those of us who have been exposed to a lot of money before, you might think you cannot start a business until you have 1 million naira. If you give somebody in the village 100K, you'll be surprised at what they will do with that 100K in 6 months. So I think we also need to shed off some of those bogus business ideas that we carry around most of the time and look at from basic and simple, easy thing, low-hanging fruits that we allow money to change and between us and the next person. And this may not be capital intensive in some instances. We may even have to learn some of these things from our local friends, our artisan friends, and we can begin to exploit and begin to multiply. And given the fact that we are more exposed, we have seen bigger money before, we might do better than those artisans when we have different business opportunities to lead. That's my view. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kunle.
All right.
Buki, you have 2 more minutes to round up, please. Thank you.
I've rounded up.
You've
So,
rounded up, okay.
yeah,
Thank you so much,
So,
everybody, for your time. Thanks for your contributions. So I think Buki covered all the topics we spoke about, and that's really good. Thank you so much for kind of sticking to it and made sure we talked about everything. The next objective of this session is to get feedback. Like we said, it's kind of a performance review. So what I'm going to do, just to ensure that everybody here says something, because if I leave it open, then it's just going to be me, Ogade, Juwon talking. So I'm going to pick on all participants in no particular order. I'm going to start with Professor Kolawole Adeloye to give us a feedback. Tell us how these sessions have impacted you. I see your chat. Excuse me. I see your chat where you said, it's really impacted you and you've started thinking on other streams of income. Yeah. That's a really, really positive one. Thank you for sharing that testimony with us. So if you just let us know other things, the way this has impacted us, what you would like us to discuss going forward, other things to move the association forward. It's not limited to the classes we've had. You have the floor for 1 minute. Thank you.
You need to unmute yourself. Kolawole, you need to unmute yourself. You're muted. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. You need to unmute yourself. Juwon, can you please help us?
I can't unmute him. He's the one that has to unmute himself.
Okay.
Well, unmute yourself.
Let the next person.
All right. Okay. While we wait for Kolawole to get that, once it's ready, I think I'll private chat him and he will come on board. I'm going to go to Debo just because it's my Rojo person. Hi, Debo. How are you?
I'm good. Good
Thank
afternoon.
you so much for coming on board. I saw you from the very first time we had the master class. I know you are in a different time zone. I think it will be midnight now. What time is it where you are? What time is it? 8:30 p.m.
8:39 now. Yeah.
All right, and thank you so much for coming. So
Welcome.
yes, you've been coming on board mostly all Saturdays, I want to say. Thank you. Thank you for your time. And I just want to see how this has impacted you. We've had 10 sessions, like we said, different topics. How has it impacted you? Is there any other thing you want to talk outside these classes? Any ideas or, just it's your time. Tell us whatever is on your mind to share with us.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, good morning. Yeah, I just thank God for this particular platform. And then the masterclass so far has been wonderful, helpful, and then exceptional. Let me put that away. All these questions we're asking today is what we have learned so far, apart from pre-COVID to
We lost Deborah, right?
We can't hear him anymore.
Thank you.
Hello?
All
Okay,
right,
yeah,
you're
he's
back. Thank you. Now we can hear you. Debo. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Hello?
All right. Yes, you're back on.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry for that. Just stop. Yeah, let's just keep thanking God for gift of life, and then let's manage ourselves. Masterclass has been wonderful. Let me put that way, because it has put a lot of insight on both finance, education aspect of it, and then we are looking forward for the SMA stuff, which is going to be, let me just say, better advantage for us to know what to do, as in second stuff for getting income, because for most people that have been on one particular line of income, streamline, it has not been easy, and then we are trusting God to survive this particular trial time. You know, with God, all things are possible. But I don't think the major thing is let's just manage our heads, because because and then Canada thing to share that over day can mama fi owó tó bá realize láti máa fi nọ́ọ̀sì nǹkan tó bá ti wà. So let's just free our mind, let's do our best, let's cut our expenses to the barest minimum to survive this particular trial time. And then bí Cardinal wa ṣe sọ ká máa gbàdúrà pẹ̀lú àdúrà gbogbo ní ṣíṣe pẹ̀lú Ọlọ́run. That's what I can say. And then for the admin, I'm looking forward for the SME stuff. I think that's what we are still lacking mostly, apart from what Ogate and then Adeji has already taught us about the investing in all those financial sector of a thing. But I think for now, that kind of area is dicey now. We need something that can make us to survive this particular trial time, at least to balance to balance body and soul, so that when we have enough resources, we can also go to that financial sector as per investments. I think that's what I have to say. And then good to have all of you here.
Oh, thank you so much, Debo. So good to hear your voice. Thank you. And yes, it's important we take care of our health. Okay. I'll go to Tunde. Just because you're next on my list. Unmute yourself.
So don't let me be next on your list. I've been in and out, so I'm not really so maybe
this is just okay. This is a free time. This is 1 minute. You've been part of this since day one. So just a quick, feedback. I know you're part of the ESCO, so you know everything from even before we bring it on board.
So really the feedback is not expected from me. Whatever
it is kind of.
No, I don't really expect me to be a critical person for this kind of feedback. Seriously.
Okay, say something then.
It's all good. It's been
say something.
Like, okay, let me just say something. Saying something as something. It's been a wonderful how am I gonna put it? It's been very good. It's been very lovely. It's been educative. Well, maybe for me, it's not that I just expect more of this. And I just hope people, though I know this is not going to be something that will be appreciative to virtually everybody. I'm not expecting to see more than 25 at most. Yeah, that is what it is. But if in a gathering, if you have a meeting and you have 25 people in a meeting, it's a successful meeting. If you have if you have 12, 10 above, it's a successful meeting. So for each gathering we've had, it's been successful. So that's just one big plus. And as much as we are going along, maybe testimonies from what people have learned from this place embrace other people to join. But this is a good tip, and we'll keep it up. As more people are joining, those who find it very, very, who see this as a critical point, people that want to learn more in life, people pay for CDPs, for continuous development programs. So this is free CDPs, and not everybody will value it, but as much as those that will value it, they will always tag along. So keep it up, guys. It's a nice one. It has been nice, really. So let's keep it up. And for those that have been coming, it's not always free. It's not always easy. Sometimes you have to cut just to be here. You have to cut so many programs to be here just to meet up with everybody here. And so let's just keep it up.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tunde. Kola Wale is back now. So yes, go on.
Thank you very much, Madam Owonikoko. Please, this forum has so much impacted me. One, the first aspect of it is that I've been able to see some of my colleagues that I've lost contact with for a long time. And I'm seeing them, at least, beautiful, wonderful faces. And this also helped me to see that, wow, my people have moved on. I see the likes of Ogage. It's a real challenge to me that, thank God I have some people up there that can really call upon anytime. I can really share my mind with and my ideas with. That's one. Another thing is this, you know, in my own area of my calling as an academic, we have a lot of issues that we are somehow contained one way or the other in the university environment. And this kind of class that I've, the information that I've been exposed to in this class, had it been I have an information like this, maybe 10 years ago, at least I would have done something in the area of other streams of income. But I thank God that at least I was able to start small now. I've been interacting with people outside there, and this has really helped me. So please, guys, keep it up.
Thank you so much. Let's just give ourselves a round of applause. So what you said, there's a quote that says, talking to old friends make you realize how much your life has changed. And I think basically that's what Kola Wole has just said. And that's so true, even for me. You know, you just look at yourself, you see your friends, you see the likes of being Bingpe, still being cheeky. And so, yes, thank you so much for that. I think I'm going to go to Lere. You've been speaking, so I'm not going to come to you just yet.
Moradeyo.
Moradeyo, yes, I'll come to Moradeyo. Thank you, Bingpe.
I've been speaking too.
No, you've only spoken once, and we love your voice.
Thank you. Well, what I first for the master classes, I found it very informative. When we talked about health, oh my goodness, you just realize that you can be super fit and still have and not there yet, you know. So I'm really grateful for that. And then for finances, yeah. It's actually been I was sorry, well, I'm not sure how many of us knew Nospetco. I lost lots and lots of money. So if I'd known this many years, so it's been very informative. That is for that. Then one thing that crossed my mind, you know, people have been saying, well, a few people have been saying, oh, we are not this close, we are not that close, comparing us to some other sets. and doing business. I think one of the financial classes we had, people were talking about money, doing business and all. If we can actually, if we have like-minded friends, I know it's very, very tricky to trust people with money. If we have like-minded friends that we can do business with, you know, like even the Bible says, one we chase 1,000, two we chase 10,000. There is power in unity. If you and myself can put our 1,000 naira together, we can do much more with 2K than me doing with my 1,000 naira. So I think that because, and then this SME that we talked about is a very brilliant idea, especially at this time. So I've had lots of fun with the master classes, trust me. I've really, really enjoyed it. So more of it to come. I can't think of any topic at the moment that I want us to talk about, but the SME that we talked about is a very brilliant one. I like business. You know, some of us know I like business and I do things when it comes to business, which is good. So kudos to the admins, kudos to the executives. We've been having fun, we've been enjoying it, and more power to your elbow. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Morade. You almost said Motunrali.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm going to quickly go to Goke. Goke, are you still there?
Good evening once again.
You have 1 minute. Thank you.
1 minute.
Yes,
thank
please.
you. 30 seconds will be okay for me. I just want to appreciate everyone that has contributed one or two things to sustain this meeting. The Bible says that my people perish for lack of knowledge. And anybody that tries to add knowledge to another individual, that person has done a great thing in the life of that other individual. And I must say that this group has added value to me through all the various master classes. I must say that it has also given me something that I look forward to every weekend, every Saturday, to bond with old classmates and friends. I must also thank the executives for always bringing up new topics every weekend. And I must also say that I look forward to the SME training that the promise will come next weekend. Also, I just want to also advise that this association has more or less become a movement, and it is very necessary that we bring more people on board. We know that we have so many silent and quiet members. We need to bring them out of their shells. We need to turn this association, we need to turn it to a form of gospel. We need to reach out to them. We need to invite them and let them talk. There are some ladies, I must say, there are some ladies there are some ladies on this platform that I don't expect not to be talking, because I believe we can learn a lot from them. A lady to be specific is Bimbo Adeoye. She's an educationist, and I'm also always surprised why she's not always on this talking on this platform. I know she's on this platform, and I'm always surprised why she's not talking. And some other people too. I was surprised recently that it's been long that I heard the voice of any contribution from Ibukun, Awufadeju, Lawal, I guess, and some other people. Please, let us reach out to them and bring them back on. And I believe that will help our association a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Goke. All that's noted. I'll quickly go to Yinka. Yinka, you have the floor for 1 minute. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. I just want to say that I enjoyed today. It has been so interactive. I heard a lot of people's voice, heard several different other perspectives, you know, and I think it's really, really good. So kudos, guys. I really enjoyed myself. Then another thing I wanted to bring forward, I was typing. I was actually using the chat most of the time because you guys are tolerating my passionate self. I can be. So I had to like, okay, just use chat right here. And that's what I did to answer some questions so that way we don't spend too much time on just one person talking. But I think in future, I really like the SME idea. I'm also looking at the fact that we need to also focus a little bit on women's health. So I'm interested in this topic, especially. And another area also is, this is coming from our night shift discussion. I would like also to focus more, I wrote out to, okay, building strong marriage and family. That's why I'm looking at it. If I take your mind out of the gutter. So we need to talk about that as well. So I think this topic would really help us. Then one thing I want to say with this coronavirus, sometimes, you know, being indoors, even walking indoors is really tasking for the brain. So I wanted to suggest that as much as possible, and especially for our children, they are tired of staying indoors. I know we want to keep them safe. Even if it is just playing 10-10 in the backyard while we supervise from balcony, anything that we can do to engage them, even build their skills at this time is really important. Like Didi came to me, okay, Mom, I would like to learn gardening. So she waters it every day. That's one thing she learned with this locking. So a lot of creative ideas, some from them, I would be like, okay, what do you think we can do? So like going hiking, you know, when you know there is not a lot of family around, you can go, at least get out of the house. These 4 walls alone can actually set in depression. And there are lots of children that are actually coming up with depression and anxiety lately. So anything we can do outside, even more inflatable pool, because my house doesn't have one, just for them to enjoy outside, play and do whatever, then come inside and spend a few hours. Then try as much as possible to also limit kids being on tablets. It's a big deal. So anything we can do to engage our children to actually build skills at this time, like I said, is very, very important. So I don't want to talk longer. So thank you guys.
Thank you so much, Yinka. Juwon, I'm going to, and by the way, yes, I'm in support of our night shift discussions, having a proper class, and, you know, let's come out in the open and leave it out of secrets kind of things. Okay. All right, Juwon, it's your turn. You have the floor for 1 minute. I know you also get passionate, just like Yinka, Buki, and Co. But I'm going to let you know once your time is up.
Well, this has been a good, wonderful experience. Started like a joke, you know. I think it was me and Fed that were talking or something, I don't know, and then it took off. I have learned a lot. Like Dr. Adilo, you said, I found out that, wow, my people are moved like they're seasoned professionals in my sets. Because before this master class, I always saw us in white and blue shirts and blue skirt or nick or shirts. Kilograms, you know, that's but from this master class, okay, yeah, these are seasoned bankers, seasoned healthcare professionals, academicians, industry leaders. There are questions I have that I look for people. Let me just throw it to the group. I'll find somebody who knows. So it's been very, 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 very rewarding. The sessions with Bumi Akinloye, for me, were the most impactful. You know, it was like I learned a whole lot from it. I hope that we'll, like Goke said, that, you know, it's like a movement. Last week I had a discussion with a member of the set, and he indicated that he didn't think this was going on now. It was just that by the time they do 2 sessions of this pandemic, they'll be over it. Like, so he was surprised, and so it's been a good experience. I hope that tangible things will come out, like Muradio said, things that are actually concrete, not just learning. I mean, yeah, learning is concrete, but things that we can do together. I'll be looking forward to, you know, to the evolution of that. Yep.
Thank you so much, Juwon. I think I have on my list Akin. I don't know if he's still busy or if he has a minute to spare to just share his thoughts. Is there any other person apart from Akin that I'm missing? I can go on. Thank you.
Yeah, let me just say one or two things. I think the sessions has been impactful. And then I want to say a big thank you to the executive for organizing this. The topics have been wonderful, has been selected to flow with the tide of time. I think the topic that I enjoyed most happened to be the one facilitated by Dr. Jimmy and Tolu. But unfortunately, I couldn't stay for the whole time because I was called for another task entirely. Permit me to go off what the majority of people have said. I want to say this. I've discussed this privately with one or two people, but I want to say it again because it's an open floor. Some people were known to be active members. When I say active members, in the sense that they used to chat on the blog, exchange pleasantries, jest, and go. But I discovered that, you know, we are adults, and there's some people sometimes, one or two people have called me. Some people sometimes find some of our joke not to go down well with them. I am a free-spirited person. I can flow with anything. So I want to say, if possible, we try to take other people into consideration when we are talking about some stuff, and then probably maybe things that people may easily take offense to. They may be on the group, but they would prefer to remain silent rather than to contribute. And the beauty of this group is to have everybody contribute one way or the other. Just don't think about yourself alone when you are dishing out opinions, or when you are chatting. That is why I said I'm going to go off whatever people have said before. And this is very, very, I feel it in my mind, especially when those two people reach out to me, and I feel like I need to say it in this platform so that the executive can work on it and then see how forge ahead and then get more people to flow in. So that the discussion won't revolve around 1, 2, 3, or 10 people whenever anybody push out the topic. That's my whole thing. But lastly, I want to say a big thank you to the executive. Kuli Ogide, you've done really well. And then the other ESCOs for this platform. We have gained a lot as a person. And I wish to still see more good topics being discussed. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that, Aki. I would let Kunle actually take you up on the, the offensive jokes that you were read out. We would appreciate if, yes, like I said earlier when we started this, we have different people, individual differences, and, we would expect, and like I said, I think we're mostly respectful on this platform. I'm on so many other platforms. And when I say we're respectful, I genuinely mean it. But I will let the leader take on that. Buki, do you want to share something in 1 minute just so that you don't feel excluded? Bingpe, because you're the one rounding up, I'll skip you and then you kind of say whatever you want to say when it's your session. I give it to, before you, Buki, actually, is Bola and Ibukwan, you're still on here? Bola? I don't think so. I just don't want to miss anyone.
I don't think they're here.
No, they are not. No, they are
not. Is Bayo on here? No. Okay.
Bayo didn't join today.
All right. Buki, you have 1 minute to just share your thoughts.
I don't have any thoughts. Thank you.
Really? Okay. Thank you. Even if you want to tell us, because Nika is there, you can't talk about your girlfriend.
Hands up, please. Let me just
not being paid now. Not being paid. It's not being paid. Stone. Kule.
Yes. Okay. How many minutes do I have?
Because you're the president, I'll give you 2.
Okay. By my time. Okay, so guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate the fact that we even came out to do this and to also add some flavor to the conversation. I've taken a few notes from some of the comments that we have made, and I think some of them are worth discussing on the ESCO's platform, and let's see how we can improve the overall delivery of this idea. I just want to make 2 comments. The first thing is that we should continue to be tolerant of one another. we've never been on an alumni group like this before. Yes, I know many of us belong to different other groups, but this is one of the alumni groups that I believe each of us belong to. And there will always be mistakes. And we should just continue to be tolerant. So, and that steps to the point Sende raised. Sende has had that conversation with me offline before. And one of the things I said to him is that, look, we have a lot of people on this platform and people are different in their own way. It is our uniqueness, the uniqueness of each one of us, and the fact that we have different ways with which we see life and react to things that actually beautify the platform. We will, as much as possible, try to continue to do what we are doing and being all encompassing, all accommodating. However, we should also embrace the different perspectives of every individual on the platform. That's the one thing. The other point I also think is valid, I'd like to speak to now that everybody is here, is the point Goke raised around reaching out to others. The thing is, each one of us belong to one clique somehow or the other. Some people belong to more than 2-3 cliques even. I just want to implore every one of us, let us reach out to people that we have relationship with and encourage them to participate. There's only so much that the ESCO can do. If you do not engage, if you do not participate, if you do not reach out, number one, we're not even going to know what the challenges are. We're not going to be able to know how do we tailor fit some of the initiatives to suit the kind of need that individuals have. And it's important that we reach out to our friends and encourage them to participate, encourage them to reach out. There's a saying in Yoruba that Ogun Omode o Serepe, Ogun Odun. I think technology has defied that proverb. And the more we galvanize the relationship that we have now, I think the better for us and the better for our children, and perhaps the better for the larger society. So please, let's talk to our friends. Let's encourage them to attend meetings, to participate, to talk, to reach out, and thereby, I think we can make a lot more impact in the lives of one another when we do that. The last thing I want to say is, guys, thanks for what you've done so far. There's a lot of room for improvement. The ESCO will work to do as much as they can, but we are all humans. I think the onus lies on every member of the platform to add value to the platform. That's what I have to say for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kunle. Thank you, everybody. Larry, I think I skipped you too. I'm sorry. You have 1 minute. You're not supposed to speak after the president. So I'm sorry, President, if this is kind of, but I know you will overlook it. I'm your in-law. So Larry, if you want to go on.
Well, thanks guys for the classes. I actually learned a lot from the classes, from the health issues, the finances, the fitness from Moradeo. I actually appreciate those people who organized this in the first place. Those people who brought out the idea. I've learned a lot from this. And I expect us to do all we can to continue this, because I personally, as a person, I'm actually enjoying this and I want more from you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. And Nike, I'm sorry, I think I skipped you. Nike, just 30 seconds. Just because you are not on the platform. Buki, can we speak to Nike, please? Buki.
Eh?
Bukola Ogedengbe.
We can check if
Hello? Nike, yes, go on, Nike. Let's see your face now.
She's laughing.
Yeah, well, okay, now we can see you.
All right. You sure want to rub this thing on my face? Don't worry, I will join.
You better.
Good to be here.
He will stop talking. So please don't join yet.
Don't worry. I'll join very soon. Don't worry. Yeah. Although I've been in and out member, but I will gladly say that I'm very, very impressed with the platform. the little time I joined, I really enjoyed the topic, and I will say that it has been impactful. It has been impactful. I can't really lay my hands on any topic. All the topics I've joined in, from health to education to family, has been very, very wonderful. Yeah, like everybody said, I will just recommend or just chip in a little suggestion for the ESCOs or for the executive, you know, because every time I join in, I notice that it has been just the same set of people, that keeps talking, keeps chipping in and all the stuff. And I have other friends that, okay, these people, last week I spoke with Iboko, and I just, okay, the last time I was on the group, I didn't see anything. She just gave me one excuse and all the stuff. And I know that she's not that kind of, so I would just, like President has said, we should just endeavor to push more people, you understand? So aside, after this COVID, I know we'll survive it. I want us to introduce some topics, because there's some things that, okay, that will attract people. You know, when you start speaking big grammars and English, you are giving us different, some people might not be interested. You understand? Like me, if you fine, I can relate with most topics, but when it comes to fashion, food, entertainment, I won't lie to you. These topics,
yeah.
you know, these topics bring people out. You understand? You want to tell people how to do different color combination, how to dress. You understand? These topics bring people out. You understand? Okay. Let's just balance topics up. You understand? That's just my little suggestion. Let's balance topics up. You will see that people will share their thoughts. They will bring so many things to the table and stuff like that. So, like I say, it has been a very, very, I'm so impressed. Seriously, like.
Just clap for us, Nike, clap for us. So Nike, thank you so much for these wonderful suggestions. And by the way, do you know Ibukwayo is your husband's girlfriend?
You
tell her she's my friend. I just have to tell you, because now you are calling Ibukwayo.
Yeah, you can't call her. Be careful, please. Be careful,
everybody's my husband's girlfriend. I know that.
Be careful, please. Don't bring it.
All right, thank you so much, guys. I'm going to pass I think I covered everyone, right?
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. If you can please post the survey now. Bingpe, I'm going to pass the baton to Bingpe. Thank you, everybody. Bingpe is going to do our thing. There's no other person, you know, better IQ.
Participate in the poll. Participate in the poll.
All right.
Just
so please take the survey.
It's anonymous. It's anonymous. So please don't be.
Okay.
This poll is funny. When you click, if you click no, if you click no, then you won't submit. You won't be able to submit.
Exactly. If you click no, what's the next thing? Then
no, need to come on.
Submit.
No. But I will work on another one. Don't worry.
Do another one.
So if you
choose do another one,
then you force you to select an amount.
I'm going to mute everybody.
Well, they need to submit. They need to submit whether no or yes, whether 10. I mean, need to submit.
I didn't know. I would have put like a no or not applicable.
Leave us in a heart of this matter. So, guys, are we having another poll?
Better do it quick.
Maybe the next meeting.
Okay, that's fine.
That's fine. Thank you very much, Ife Oluwa. You've anchored a fantastic session. very engaging. And Bookie, where is Ogade? Nike, where did you put him? Ogade also kind of covered.
Nike is dealing with him.
Exactly.
Ogade actually covered all the aspects. 10 sessions of quality and impactful masterclasses that we've had. Quality questions that have been asked during the sessions, and all sorts of things that people have taken. People have challenged each other during sessions in case they're not clear, or in case they think what that particular person has brought up wasn't correct from their home perspective. It's been very, very useful. I know Juwon always said that a lot of people do pay for this kind of master classes. On the average, over the 10 weeks, we've had about 15 per session. That's on the average. We've had a particular session that I think we had over 25 at a point in time. So in summary, everybody have said things, and I don't think it's necessary for me to repeat what they've said. Otherwise, we'll be here till tomorrow. We've taken every suggestions on board. Personally, I would like us to investigate risk insurance. I would like us to explore opportunities around those topics. I don't know if you've got experts in the house. So those would be, if anybody's taking notes, those are my two additional topics that I would like us to add onto it. Thank you very much for each and every one of us that stayed till the end. At the beginning of the session, we had about 17 people in attendance. At the moment, there are 11. Thank you for your patience, and thank you for those people that will not be tired and always contribute. I cannot get angry with Ife, whatever she says. And I will always cope with those. Oh, Bookie, mute yourself.
Echo, get at it. Echo, get at it. You.
Bookie, mute yourself. So thank you very, very much. We are looking forward. We have an external speaker coming next week. I think Kule is going to be giving the lowdown of that. We also have another Hot Seat session. Is Meet the Omoluabi. It's going to be on the Friday preceding the masterclass on Saturday. So we look forward to having people contributing. Those people that will ask crazy questions, please ask. You can make it as engaging as you want. The facilitators are Ayodeji. Ayodeji sent his apologies that he couldn't make today. And also Yemi Girl. Yeah, both of them will be anchoring the session on Friday night in preparation for the one on Saturday. Let us make contact individually with people that we know have not shown in a long time. The executive are trying their best to engage. It's a very demanding job. So if we know people that have not been in attendance, that have not been active, or that have previously been active and are no longer active, let us take it up as a responsibility, individual responsibility, just to encourage. And we will be respectful. We will take comments on board, and we will respect individual differences. We are not the same. We can never be the same. And there is beauty in being different. That's all I've got to say. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody, and God bless you. Thank you.
By the way, Busatu, haircut. Haircut.
Oh, she patewo fún mi kó tó bá mo fẹ́ràn.
Right, I think we've come to the end of this session.
We've come to the end of your own session.
Wait now. Did you know that Nike's sub was for you, Ogade? You know she was subbing you. You are always blowing grammar that we will not understand. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody. We've, thank you, Bimpe, for rounding up.
And just to let you know, Arsenal have scored.
Yes,
Arsenal scored. Congratulations to them.
Are they playing with under Division 1 team?
Right. Anyway, thank you so much. I think we have to round up now. Do we have Kunle? Do you want to give us bye-bye, or do you want me to round up? I think we've rounded up actually.
I've rounded up.
Did it.
I've rounded up. So there's no
It's
need to
over.
round
It's
up.
just difficult
So
for
this
me
is
to
now
let you
meeting
go.
after meeting.
It's difficult for me to let you guys go. That's why I'm just trying to stay relevant.
Oh, Dr.
You are very relevant, don't worry.
Okay, okay. Let's go back to our education wahala.
Hey,
No,
guys,
please.
Hey, I have another gist actually.
Please take us off YouTube, Ojuma.
Okay, we are stopping the live stream so that we can start the party.
So that we can have the party.
Kunle now